Aldrich, respect is a two-way street. If you want to get it, then you have to give it. My name is Abel J. Kende, representing the Department of Public Health, and I would like to say good day to the adjudicators, members of the opposing team, ladies and gentlemen. I stand here on soil to tell you that Nigeria will take her pride of place with the Committee of Nations only when her citizens are respected in her country. Now, we are going to be your lecturers for this course, so I want you to pay rapt attention. During the duration of this course, we are going to be taking three basic things: respect, Committee of Nations, and to take a pride of place. According to the Cambridge English Dictionary, Committee of Nations is defined as the respect and friendship between nations from respecting each other's laws and customs, while respect is defined as the admiration of a person brought about by treating them in a kind and polite manner, while to take a pride of place is to be put in a place that is most central or important. Keywords in the Committee of Nations were friendship and respect. Now, we all know that everyone deserves respect, well, of course, Nigerians in the eyes of the government. They say charity begins at home, and Nigeria wants to take her pride of place in the Committee of Nations. Hence, they want to earn the respect of other nations. But charity begins at home, like I said, and the biblical translation for charity is love. Love is the basis of respect. But where is this love when SARS officials are brutally harassing young men every day under the claims that they look like internet fraudsters or Yahoo boys? I ask this question every day. Do they inscribe these writings on their head, or do they hang them on their necks? No. Secondly, Nigeria should be put on the favorite show, 1,000 Ways to Die, because it should be considered an extreme sport to be living in Nigeria. I mean, you could just wake up one day and the SARS official will shoot you. For example, people in the Onitsha market that got burnt, what happened? The state fire service claimed not to have water in any of their fire trucks. Isn't that an absurd claim, not to have water in any of your fire trucks? People were burnt and people lost their properties. Onitsha market, let me remind you, generates one of the best revenues for the government. And so imagine giving so much to the government only to be burnt down or to lose all of your property just because they do not have water. Now, last part of the definition of the Committee of Nations clearly stated that we have to accept and respect other people's laws. But how can Nigeria, if we are being honest, respect other people's laws if they do not respect their laws? I mean, Omoyele Sowore, a former presidential aspirant, went and he wanted to have a peaceful protest or revolution, but what happened? He was arrested and tried with treason. Why would this happen when chapter 4, section 40 of the 1999 Constitution clearly states that everyone is entitled to assemble freely and belong or form a political party? We all know that Sowore faced this dehumanizing act because he was not a member of the ruling party, APC. The rule of law. The rule of law is something that is taught in our primary schools as social studies, in our secondary schools as civic education, in Babcock University as Nigerian people and global culture, but in our government parastatals as non-existent. Why does this happen? Nigeria cannot take her pride of place in the Committee of Nations, so I'm here to give you your quiz. Do you really think Nigeria can take her pride of place in the Committee of Nations without respecting our citizens when the key word in Committee of Nations is respect? Definitely not. So with all of this being said, I hope I've been able to convince you beyond all reasonable doubt that Nigeria cannot take a pride of place in the Committee of Nations.
Imagine a soldier who goes to war with nothing but a cutlery set and a napkin. What prominence can he have at the battlefront? Ladies and gentlemen, today's topic of discussion is synonymous to this narration. But before my progression, I have to make due recognition of administrators in today's occasion. Therefore, my salutation goes to the chairman, panel of judges, timekeeper, worthy opponents, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ogumoluwa Timlai, a 100-level computer science student, here representing the School of Computer and Engineering Sciences, in opposition of the topic that in order for Nigeria to have a pride of place in the Committee of Nations, it must respect its citizens in its own nation. Now, according to GoogleDefinitions.com, a Committee of Nations can be defined as an association of nations that come together for the mutual benefits. And the pride of place can be defined as the most prominent position among a group of things. Now, a pride of place in the Committee of Nations is synonymous to the term a superpowered nation. According to Wikipedia.com, a superpowered nation is one that has a dominant position characterized by its extensive ability to influence the global world. Now, keep that in mind. And the likes of these potential superpowers include the United States, China, Brazil, India, Russia, and the European Union. Ladies and gentlemen, as a human being, I highly understand the essence of respecting citizens because I want to be respected. But it is not the only criterion in order to achieve prominence, because there are other factors such as a country's market, its military strength, as well as its influence on an international scale. Now, its market. According to economiccomplexity.com, potential superpowers such as the United States, Russia, and China have exports such as spacecraft, packaged medication, and computers. A country like Nigeria boasts of exports like crude petroleum, cocoa beans, and raw food, and imports like wheat, raw sugar, and common toothpick. I don't believe that respecting our country is going to do anything to boost Nigeria's market. Now, I go into the military strength. They say offense is the best form of defense. I learned this firsthand from Clash of Clans, and that is why many Nigerians cower in the face of the slightest threat. Ladies and gentlemen, today Nigeria is ranked 48 in terms of military capacity. Comparing them to the United States, a country which has over 2.8 million manpower and military and machine equipment in its arsenal, Nigeria has a measly 181,000 units. I believe that in order for us to respect our citizens, we first have to be able to protect and defend them. Now, I go on to my final point. Ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria is a country that cannot help itself. A quote goes thus: helping others when you don't have the ability to help yourself is complete folly. It would be presumptuous thinking to assume that Nigeria as a country can significantly contribute on an international scale, because we couldn't face our own terrors like corruption, Ebola, and even the xenophobia that's currently going on without the aid of external nations. That goes to show that as a country, we cannot contribute anything on an international scale. Now, I go on to this final point. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know that China and Russia are prominent nations today, despite the fact that they have controversial takes on citizens' rights? Even the United States is a country that respects its citizens highly. It's still one that is not lacking in all the other factors that I've mentioned earlier. So let's run a diagnosis on our country again. Now, I make this conclusive. You see, Nigeria is nothing but an African giant, a local champion in this African native. And I don't want you to live in the initiative that my opponents have established. That is why, as a country, Nigeria, if we are to become a global administrative, we have to be morally proactive, we have to be highly effective, we have to be economically reactive, we have to be militarily active. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you here today saying that we cannot just become internationally substantiated by respecting a citizen's right to live. With this, I, the debate maestro, take my leave.
Observe. My name is Olamide Olula, Light from the Public Health Department, and I'm here to support the motion which states that Nigeria will take her pride of place in the Committee of Nations only when her citizens are respected in their own country. Aside from barriers such as insecurity, bad governance, poor social amenities, and so on, we have issues such as SARS harassing their citizens on a daily basis based on mere suspicion, saying things like, he looks like a Yahoo boy, or she deserves to be raped because she's dressed in a certain kind of way. Just like my co-debater said, is it inscribed on their necks or tagged around is it inscribed on their foreheads or tagged around their necks? Not to even talk about the police officers which extort their citizens for compensation of 20 naira to 50 naira notes, saying things like, I'm searching his cars for ammunition or illegal substances. Our healthcare system, whereby our nurses and midwives treat our patients anyhow, unbothered about their physical and mental state, which causes a barrier between the citizens and their healthcare system. Don't even get me started about the Fulani headsmen attacks. We still do not have a solution up till now. Our youth keep saying they want to leave the country, but aren't these youth meant to be the leaders of tomorrow? Why would they want to leave when they are treated without respect and regard in their own country? Tell me how a country which cannot put its citizens on the right track and teach them the right things, teach other countries their laws, values, and ideals. Our solutions are, leaders are supposed to take a stand and responsibility now. Leaders are supposed to respect their citizens. Last but not least, love and cooperation. Like they say in the fairy tales, love conquers all. Which leads me to your mid-semester questions. Can SARS, what can be used to stop SARS brutality? A, proper investigation. B, due processes. C, none of the above. 2, what can be done to nullify the Fulani headsmen attacks? A, immediate action. B, necessary action. C, none of the above. In Nigeria, answer is always none of the above. But if you chose A or B, congratulations, you have passed your mid-semester examinations. Sit tight as we wait for your last lecture, because we are certainly not done. Thank you.
I present to you 3 of I present to you three of history's greatest dreamers. Joseph, a man who understood the trials of a nation and prevented catastrophe. Martin Luther King, a leader who understood that the dream was bigger than his own life. And the biggest dreamer of all, Nigeria. A 59-year-old child thinking she can take pride of place by just respecting her citizens. I'm Damla Yakioladejo, a 300-level dream catcher of the Department of Physics and Engineering Sciences. All protocols to be observed. I'm yet to oppose the topic. Nigeria will take pride of place only when our citizens are respected within their country. Follow me. 1. Reality has shown us that barely respecting citizens is not a deciding factor in being internationally recognized. There are prominent nations with barely any respect for the citizens. A gold-winning candidate is the prestigious Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. A US news article on February 21, 2019 discussed how Saudi prides itself in treating women like male possessions. Saudi may have lifted the ban on women driving a year ago, but female activists have pushed for this list, like Lujin, have yet to be released from prison. It is a sin that only 2 weeks ago Saudi ruled that women could join the army. But is Saudi a prominent nation? Let their bear exports of $294 billion and their 8th index in the movers rank answer that question for you. In Nigerian English, ordinary respect for citizens cannot buy you pure water in the market of nations. Two, merely respecting citizens is an intangible approach, especially when your current pride of place is number 4 in the list of most hated countries in the world, courtesy of GT.com. Follow me. CNN published that since 2014, 250,000 Nigerians have been displaced and 10,849 Nigerians have been killed by the terrorist organization Boko Haram. Business Insider attested that Nigeria owes $79.43 billion to international and internal lenders. Funny how the world's once largest producer of palm oil now spends $3.2 billion in importing palm oil. I hope only respecting your citizens will solve these problems. But until Babcock University cafeteria serves chicken or the sun turns purple, that will not happen. Finally, a crippled man may have one leg, but brothers and sisters of the congregation, he's still crippled. If he chooses to respect that leg or not, he's still crippled. No amount of respect you do to the citizens will pay the bills of sought-after prominence. Thank you.
Standing on existing protocols, my name is Ube Williams Nikita, and today I'm not here to talk too much to you. This is your final exam question because I am your last lecturer. So here's my first question for you. Of what importance is 1963 in the history of Nigeria, and we can call ourselves a republic that doesn't respect the decisions of its people, a republic where you can't express yourself? I don't think we deserve to be in the Committee of Nations when we can't do any of this. I'm moving on to the next question. Chapter 2, Section 15, Subsection 5 of the Federal Republic of Nigeria's Constitution clearly states that the state shall abolish all corrupt practices and adhere to the rules of the state. Now, I want to ask you this question. Is Nigeria following these given instructions when every day there's police brutality, SARS oppression every minute, and of course senators are slapping our faces every second? Now, I want to ask you, with all these, can Nigeria take her place of pride among the Committee of Nations? Thank you very much.
A wise man by the name of Carl Sagan once said, "It is better to grasp the universe as it really is than to persist in delusion, however satisfying and reassuring." All protocols duly observed. I am Agubi Adeobonoa, and I have come as the last to lay the final construction for the dissolution of this delusion and the acceptance of the previously established facts propounded by my cohorts. My friends, the existence of the word only in this notion has rendered this entire stance null and void. For even the good book in James chapter 2 verse 4 says, "What does it profit a man, my brethren, to say that he has faith, but no works? Can his faith save him?" Ladies and gentlemen, we have yet to tackle pre-existing issues that have been staring us in the face, which, according to an article posted on soapbox.com on June 9, 2019, range from but are not limited to crime and terrorism, corruption, unemployment, and the educational and university system. For Nigeria to take pride of place, its citizens need not only be respected in their country, but its political system needs to be revamped and corruption needs to be weeded out, and its educational system needs to be addressed to seed out the impurities and bony faces embedded within the system. Ladies and gentlemen, the well-known quote goes, "The journey of 1,000 steps starts with the first step." Let us not take the first step and forget that we still have 999 steps left to take. I will end with this Latin maxim to you, "Ustram quoram untati," saying, clear your minds of this delusion. Thank you.
word that featured in BUCC speaker and another thing conclusively. Conclusively is not a word for conclusion. In summary, in conclusion, the meaning of conclusive is different from conclusion. So know the word to use to draw your discussion to a conclusion. Okay? The second speaker on BUCC is global world. You can say globally rather than global world.
That's right.
Okay? So there's also the issue of confusing of commissions in topics. Some of the things that came out were speaking as if they were speaking on the benefit of the other team. So please let this topic be spelled out clearly, and those who are, you may tell them exactly what they're supposed to do. Let them help you address the topics you are giving. Some of you were speaking in the favor of the other team. So just for those that are coming later, make sure these topics are clearly spelled out in the way you address them as they are.
Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everybody. It's actually a very difficult task deciding on the way forward tonight. Let me start by saying thank you to all our debaters. Thank you for doing a wonderful job. Thank you to the audience. Please, let's put our hands together for... All right, for BUCC, it was 406 in total. Put your hands together. And for public health, it was 390.